Everybody, welcome to Arizona Oral Health Coalition's Bite-Size Webinar Series. My name is Brianna and I'm the coordinator for the Arizona Oral Health Coalition. So thank you all for joining us for the next Bite-Size webinar in our series. Maybe some of you have seen some of our other ones, so we're glad that you're here today. As you know, or if you're new, our Bite-Size webinars are short webinars featuring the outstanding work of coalition members and individuals who work towards oral health equity. These webinars provide a platform to share knowledge or experience, promote a campaign or a cause, or simply just to talk about a topic that is important to our community. So as oral health advocates and professionals, we know that fluoride is an important tool for protecting the dental health of community members. It's safe, cost-effective, and backed up by decades of research and successful implementation in communities around the globe. However, like vaccines and other scientific topics, there is misinformation and anti-fluoride beliefs present in today's community. Our guest, Tara Wallstad, is here to talk more about this topic. Welcome, Tara.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tara. I'm a member of the Arizona Oral Health Coalition and chair of the Public Awareness Committee. If you're a returning listener to our Bite-Size webinars, you may recognize me, or at least you may recognize my voice. I'm kind of on some unstable internet today, so I'm just calling in for my presentation. But I'm back again today to talk about my capstone research project that I completed this summer during my last semester of my MPH program. I graduated a few weeks ago with my master's in public health, but I'm just not ready yet to stop talking about this project. For my capstone project, I completed a systematic review of literature investigating anti-fluoride attitudes on online platforms.
Awesome, Tara. One second here. I'm having trouble changing your slides.
At least you're stuck on a very good one.
On what we do?
Yeah. It pretty much sums up this presentation. So if you can't change the slide at all.
Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. We usually don't have this many technical difficulties, everyone. I'm so sorry, but now we're ready. Okay.
Solar flare.
Right. Okay, so Tara, can you explain a little bit about what a systematic review is?
Of course. Yeah, I'll just kind of go over it really quickly. Systematic review is a type of research that's basically a study of studies. So when completing a systematic review, the researcher will attempt to collect all the relevant studies that have already been published to answer a specific research question. So instead of collecting your own data or looking at just a few studies, you just try and collect all of the relevant studies and analyze them with the goal of being able to provide a single condensed insight about the topic. So the goal with my research was to describe and synthesize the current research investigating anti-fluoride attitudes in online platforms and to discover common themes among this content.
Why did you choose this topic?
Actually, could you go to the next slide? I got some pictures. My bad. Oh, back one. There we go. So as a dental hygienist, both in private practice and in public health, I've met a few people who don't trust fluoride and they refuse it either for themselves or for their children. Most of the time, this comes from misconceptions about fluoride safety. And even though I try to provide clear and accurate information, I usually can't sway someone's stance on fluoride just in that one sitting. That's a real bummer because fluoride is one of the most important things we can do to prevent cavities. And I want to do everything I can to protect my patients' oral health. And also in the stores, I see so many fluoride-free toothpaste, and online I see fluoride misinformation. So I wanted to take a more scientific approach to learning about anti-fluoride content online through this systematic review. Hopefully this research can inform future studies and future public health actions to address anti-fluoride sentiment.
What did you find out during your research?
Well, first I learned that completing a systematic review is a very long but rewarding endeavor. I completed my paper over the course of a 14-week semester, and I'm still making revisions so that I can attempt to get it published in a real journal. But mostly I learned a lot about the presence of anti-fluoride content online. but there's still a lot more that needs to be done. So for this review, I found 11 studies, which looked at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, search engine results, individual websites or articles, and website or forum comment sections. Most of the studies only looked at one of those platforms, but some looked at multiple. Also, these studies varied in study design, and this inconsistency was a major thorn in my side during research and trying to make conclusions. But in all, every study did identify anti-fluoride content within whichever platform was included in that study. Because of that variable study design, the amount of anti-fluoride content within the sample ranged from 20 to 100%.
Some concerning findings. What did the research say about the reason for these anti-fluoride beliefs?
So 8 of the 11 studies completed a thematic analysis of anti-fluoride content to determine what types of arguments or reasons people were using to oppose fluoride. So the most common theme was that there was a concern that fluoride causes harm to the body, including kind of this broad, vague idea that fluoride is just harmful in general. Or some identified more specific types of harm, such as cancer or kind of damage to specific organ systems. Ironically, there's concerns about dental risks, including fluorosis. Also, really common was this labeling of fluoride as a poison, as toxic, waste, or as a dangerous chemical. And then the last theme was the conspiracy theory theme. So conspiracy theory content was defined as believing any reasons other than oral health as the reason fluoride is added to water. So that includes reasons such as mind control or to sicken people for medical profit.
Now, what is fluorosis?
So fluorosis is a condition that occurs if you consume large amounts of fluoride during tooth development. And it ranges from just some minor aesthetic, just flecks on the teeth and the enamel. In very severe cases, it can cause some structural deformities to the teeth. But in the US, the fluoride level in water is highly controlled to be very safe. So if someone does have fluorosis, it's usually just that very minor aesthetic kind of effect on the teeth. It doesn't cause any harm to the enamel. But there's some other areas in the world where it does present a larger issue because the fluoride in the water is naturally very high. But here in US water systems, that is safely regulated.
That makes sense. Thank you. So what can organizations and individuals who care about oral health do about this issue?
So this definitely could be a big concern for the oral health field. An individual is likely to come across anti-fluoride sentiment online just from some source. Anti-fluoride content exists both on social media platforms and on more official appearing resources like top web search results. This widespread existence may falsely suggest that these beliefs are correct. And then as the common themes showed, most anti-fluoride sentiment is based on an incorrect knowledge about the safety of fluoride. So this is important because while there are other arguments against fluoride, for example, a common one is an argument that community water fluoridation violates personal autonomy. This review did show that most anti-fluoride sentiment is based on misconceptions and misinformation about fluoride safety. So in my mind, this is actually sort of a good thing because then we have an opportunity to address these misunderstandings by providing correct and accessible information. And social media presents a really important opportunity for changing those attitudes about fluoride. Efforts are needed to increase the presence of evidence-based, easy to understand content on multiple social media platforms in order to build more understanding and support for fluoride as a valuable strategy for protecting public health.
Thank you, Tara. And we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions who might be on our Zoom call. I don't know if our Facebook listeners would be able to ask questions. But if anyone who's on the Zoom line has any questions, feel free to ask them now.
Yes, and I believe if someone does ask a question on Facebook, it will show up in the comments. So I might not be able to see it now, but I can get to it on Facebook later. You're also welcome to email me if you want to see my paper. I will be happy to talk about it with you. Or if you just have any other questions, you could definitely reach out. And I would just love to talk about it.
For sharing, Tara. This is very interesting. I'm actually quite new to the world of oral health myself, and so I would love to read your paper.
Yay.
All right, well, I don't think we have any questions, so I hope you all have enjoyed our content for today. And next week, we will be hosting another bite-sized webinar, so make sure to check out our Facebook for ads on that. I'll be putting something out in the newsletter as well, and check back next week. We'll talk to you all and see you then. Have a great weekend.